WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. I hope your turkey and stuffing and cranberry and whatever desserts you're bringing, there's a rich abundance in your eggnog as it all flows with family and figgy pudding and all of that stuff. Black Friday, we're going to be up in Harford County with Harford County Executive Barry Glassman, who's running for controller. We're also going to be joined by Eric Sauer, my pal from There Goes My Hero. We're going to be at Conrad's Crabs, having the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. It's all presented by the Maryland Lottery. You can let yourself play, and this is a big, big week for football. We'll all have football with our gravy, football with our potatoes, football with our pumpkin pie. And also on Thursday, Dennis Koulatsos has a Dennis Koulatsos Show. You can find him at D. Koulatsos Show. And selling cars and the end of the year and happy Ravens customers who can't get over the cardiac kids. They gave you a heart attack on Sunday, don't they, Den?
Oh, they sure did, Nestor. They're a lot of fun. A lot of fun to watch. You can never count them out, regardless of who's under center, right? Whether it's Lamar Jackson or Snoopy, whatever they've nicknamed Tyler Huntley, who looks very much like the 2019 MVP as he led the team to another victory, pushing them to 7-3. Nestor, a lot better vibe at 7-3 than 6-4 for sure.
Well, there's thoughts on the team, and then there's thoughts on the injuries, and there's thoughts on sickness and illness and gambling. I certainly have some thoughts on, this is a Vegas sort of nightmare. I was in the team hotel unwittingly. You know what I mean? Like, information on this sort of thing. So there's all of that. But then there's the backdrop of the team, and I could go either way with I don't think they're a great football team as comprised. I think there's incredible resiliency, but the numbers and the statistics and the offensive line and sacking the quarterback and taking the ball away and like all of those sort of measurables, they're 7-3. That's the only measurable that matters. But more than that, when your backup quarterback doesn't play on the road, you're supposed to lose, or especially when the drop-off is perceived to be as precipitous, not to mention the other problems the team has that are inherent at this point, where you have so many injuries and so much money not on the field, right? But assessing the team right now, how can you be unhappy if you're a Raven fan that this team is 7-3? I mean, it feels like the purple light of good fortune is shining upon them.
Yeah, you can't be unhappy at all, particularly coming off of a weekend where we saw the Tennessee Titans lose to the Houston Texans, and also the powerful Buffalo Bills dropping one pretty badly to the Indianapolis Colts. And there's a team that's on the rise. And it's a very parity-laden league, Nestor, and anybody can beat anybody on any given Sunday. So just win, baby, in the words of the late, great Al Davis, just win. And the Ravens have got it figured out. They're resilient, they're scrappy, they're never out of it. And if they're in the fourth quarter still in a dogfight or with 10 minutes left, you got to feel good about the outcome or your chances of having a positive outcome.
We talk about the Titans getting along without Derrick Henry. You talk about the Bills stubbing their toe or whatever. I remember all the way to last week when the Ravens went down to Miami and laid a stinker, right? After Lamar ran the football and all that. Now Lamar's got another week. Lamar had a bye week. Now, I'm not going to say that because I've had the stomach thing and, I was 10 feet away from the dapperly dressed Marlon Humphrey in the bowels of Soldier Field when he said, I saw a dude over there doubled up and thought he ain't playing football tomorrow. Oh. And so I don't want to say it's a bye week, but one more weekend where he didn't get crushed, he didn't get hit, he didn't, like all of that. I didn't run in the sandbox, as they would say in the game in Chicago. Look, their road is paved right now for being a Super Bowl team, but I haven't caught on to the fact that they don't look like a Super Bowl team to me.
Yeah, they're the number two seed in the AFC right now. Lamar does get extra rest. He doesn't play again until 8:20 p.m. Sunday night against the Cleveland Browns, who are having problems of their own. Social media is all over Baker Mayfield and his family right now, but you got to like their chances, Ness. They just keep winning, and if they can, it was great just to have Patrick McCary back. Great to have Nick Boyle back. I think they definitely help the running game, and you'd have to think had Lamar Jackson been in there, the game wouldn't have been that close. At least it shouldn't have been.
Dennis Koulatsos is here. You can find him on Thursday, on Sunday. Might even run it on Friday, Black Friday, Groovy Thursday, Gravy Thursday night, 3 football games. All this is happening this week. Let me clarify this with you. When the desserts come at your house, what's your preferred dessert this week?
All of them. I love the baklava. I love lukumatis. I love kurambietis, your new favorite dessert.
Oh,
But now
this is the time of the year for that. They do that right now.
oh yeah, we'll do the traditional turkey and everything else, and the ham and the yams and the pumpkin pie. But we'll still have all the. How can you not have Greek desserts at a Greek household? I mean, that's a given. You have to partake in those sweets.
Oh, I want to be Greek on Thanksgiving. I mean, my friend John Raffalidis, I would go over. Mr. Pete would, he'd have all sorts of goodies. He'd be, giving me, fattening me up. That's why, I don't show the pictures from the 80s if you go back and look. Again, for the league and watching the Steelers, late into the night out there in L.A. and their fan base, and I'm wearing the Coons Ford Charger blue here, the powder blue. The rest of it, we beat the snot out of the Chargers at 10 in the morning. But the preseason's over now, right? And I know you're going to be talking to Luke about this on your show this week. I've talked to Luke about it. He wrote about it this week. Here we go. Cleveland, Pittsburgh. It started Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati. This is when it gets real. And to your point, there is a vibe about Boyle and McCary and that they are getting better, and they did win with their backup quarterback and did some things that would, be in their favor if you're in Vegas right now and saying whatever they are, 12-1, whatever the number is that they are, you'd look at them and say, all right, I'd take a gander because I think in any given day in January they could beat the Bills or the Chiefs or the Chargers or and by the way, I had Dan Shaughnessy on this week because he has a new book on Larry Bird, or the Patriots, right? Like the Patriots are involved in this again.
They really are. The Patriots are looking good. The Colts are looking good, right? So, right, but we still have a lot of football to play. It's a game of attrition. That 17th game, Nestor, I think it's going to be huge just for a number of reasons, attrition, seedings, etc. And this is uncharted territory, not just for us as analysts and fans, but also for the teams as well.
Well, the longer the season and these injuries and the way the way the league has adjusted the IR, right? Like Pernell McPhee, you don't have to be out for the year. You can be out for a couple weeks. I think COVID and the COVID list and all of that last year shook part of that up. And I mean, look, this is a union fight, right? It's a players' association fight about bodies on the team, bodies getting paid, how many players they want, how many guys up on the roster. I mean, Luke discerned that Lamar must have been pretty sick when he started counting heads on the roster on Saturday, and the McSorley thing. Different things happen that lead you, if you're gambling on the game or seeing it that way. But this is really about having deep depth all along, and who's going to Brandon Stevens logging time, right? Like the Chris Westry. I mean, I said to Luke, Chris Westry, the only reason I even know who Chris Westry is all you did was talk about him in August because he was the guy, and now all of a sudden he's out there and he's the guy and the ball goes over his head or whatever. I guess that's to be expected, but you never wanted him on the field to begin with. And I even spoke to this. Here, I'll have a little fun with you. I'll give you a little Jeopardy question. Name every Joe Flacco backup quarterback.
Let's see, Tyrod Taylor.
He's a rare one, by the way, because he actually played a little bit. A lot of them, you can't name them.
I can't.
John Beck, Matt Schaub. For seasons.
Yeah.
You sat out there at the game and you watched that guy hold a clipboard for 8 games and a playoff game against the Texans or whatever, and never knew who the backup was here. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah, Joe, for the first 6 or 7 years, he was a man of steel, the man of iron, and he started breaking down a little bit later on in his career. But yeah, I'd be hard pressed, and I don't even remember this guy Beck. I remember Straub, whatever his name was, but I don't remember. Schaub. There you go.
Well, he had a couple of good years in Atlanta and came.
He did.
And John Beck was a Miami draft pick who was BYU.
No, you're right. Now I remember him. But you have an encyclopedic memory and knowledge of these.
Ryan Mallett. I'm just trying to go through.
Yeah, beat the Steelers one time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I mean, I led the questioning with Harbaugh in Chicago on Sunday by saying, like, you've been at this a long time. We have not had a whole lot of sick Ray Lewises on planes or guys scratch on a Sunday with the flu ever, let alone the quarterback. And that creates incredible uncertainty for all of them. And I know the Ravens were sharing that video with John on the field, kind of, getting with him before the game and telling him he could do it and like all of that.
He looked good. He did. The stage wasn't too big for him. He got sacked 6 times. He shrugged it off, and he came through when it counted. He's got a good arm. I thought he looked the part once he settled down.
I thought he was an erratic passer. Setting feet, putting the ball right where he wanted it. The ball sailed on him. This is the National Football League. It's Chicago. By the way, and I didn't feel any wind. I was up behind glass, right? Like that Harbaugh spoke so much about the wind down on the field and the swirl of it. I didn't feel it walking in. I didn't feel it walking through the city. And this is, Dan, I spent a lot of time in Chicago, right? I mean, I lived out there half the time at the turn of the century. And I walked out of the stadium, and I'm having a back problem, and I was in a little bit of a hurry to get my flight. And I just left the press conference, literally. Marlon Humphrey did his thing. I'm out of there. I had to get a subway, an Uber. I had to figure out how to get to the airport in 2 hours. So I'm hustling, and I'm walking up the hill, Bears fans, handful of people, and it's like nice. Like I'm out, and it was nice in the morning when I went to breakfast with my friends, right? And I'm pushing my thing. I got up the hill. I went under like the freeway, and I got to the city part of the park. And I came up the hill, and I'm telling you, it was 40-mile-an-hour wind. Everything's blowing, everything's swirling, and I had walked a mile. And it was beautiful. I unzipped my jacket, and it was like, man, this is nice. It was 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Chicago's crazy on weather, man.
Well, it was 45 degrees at kickoff because the announcer said so. And I don't know if you can tell from your vantage point, but future Hall of Famer Justin Tucker kept hitting a beautiful draw. It looked like he was going to miss, and the ball would come right back around, right between the uprights. Every one of his kicks, extra points, and everything else, it was spot on. I thought he was a difference maker in the game.
Well, and they didn't bring him out to the podium, and they didn't bring Nick Boyle out to the podium. Guys that we would have probably liked to talk to, but such is the state of PR with the Ravens at this point. Right. But I didn't get to add. Tucker would have been the guy to talk to about the weather because of like Stover, and I had Stover on a couple weeks ago. Stover was always dropping, grass and wind and conditions, and I mean at this point Stover would be checking radar on the bench, for like all of that, right? Because he was scientific about it, and I guess Tucker is to some degree, and I would talk to him about it, but the ball sailing, I probably wasn't accurate in my tweets to know how much the ball was sailing because of the wind.
It was really, really moving, and you got to give him a lot of credit. This field goal again that he hit spot on. Looked like he was going to go wide right, brought it right back around. Their kicker just flat out pushed his kick, but Tucker was a difference maker. And by the way, I saw the entire presser of Harbaugh and really enjoyed listening to your questions. That gig to coach.
We've only just begun. Dennis Koulatsos is here. D. Koulatsos Show is the way to find him. We're going to run him on Thursday and Friday and Sunday and get you ready. Sundays we get all day to sit around, right? This is so. Let's see. Thanksgiving, leftovers, Black Friday, crab cakes for me at Conrad's Crab in Abington, and then leftovers, and then like all day Sunday red zone.
Yeah, it's you can't ask for a better weekend, and
then a division game.
Division game against the no good Browns, Cleveland Browns.
Dude, I have never gone to a Ravens Browns game here and even given a thought that they're a competitive team. Like that's a crazy statement. And I've gone to all of them. They've never come in here on national TV at the end of a year where there were stakes. This is the first time we're going to put the purple parkas on and go out there and really have to get after the Browns.
Hey, and they play us 2 times in 3 weeks. How great is that, right? We get them at home, then we go to their field, and we'll see what happens. But this is the meat of the schedule. Ravens play. Every team that the Ravens play going forward has a winning record. So this is where we separate the wheat from the chaff. This is where the pretenders and the snoozers and losers go home, and the better team will rise up. So it's definitely a separation Sunday beginning this Sunday night.
All right, what are you thankful for?
Look, I'm grateful every day. Just waking up. The fact that I wake up, I'm 6 feet over versus 6 feet under, and I get another chance to redeem myself and do great things. I'm very grateful for life, Nest. So, What about you?
You know what? I'm grateful that I'm standing upright because I had such pain, at various points this year, physical pain, that I was in Chicago and, pushing myself around. And, I went out drinking Saturday night, old school, had some Asian food, went to Haleo, walked around, looked at boys, looked at girls, saw Big Ten fans everywhere. Purdue played Northwestern at Wrigley Field on Saturday night. Dennis, I brought pizza back, and my wife had a little medical condition where she couldn't eat, and the doctor, like the last thing the girl told her when I dragged her out of the clinic this morning was, go easy on the food today, take it easy, okay? So, my wife had a colonoscopy, and I'm the one that's the tired one. I've been sleeping all day, so I get up. She's got the pizza in the oven when I woke up this afternoon, right? And I smell Chicago in my condo today. I took you're going to love this because I'm gastronomic. You ever get to Chicago?
Never been. Would like to go there.
Oh, come on, man. Why didn't you go this weekend with me?
I had stuff to do.
Dude, come on. So anyway, this isn't deep dish pizza. I put a picture of it up. Maybe you saw it.
You told me I did.
Yeah. And people are giving me a hard time thinking it's the casserole because the Chicago style is they dump the cheese in the.
Right.
This is a deep dish caramelized crust with the best toppings I've had, and my eyes were bigger than my stomach. I'm in there, and Stan and Jenny and Scott Lindsay was my longtime sponsor. PC BankNet, Radicus.net. He works in the banking industry. Lovely human, a lifer friend, and we're out having pizza, and they're like, "Dad, get the 10-inch for yourself." I'm like, no. I'm here a day and a half. I'm here to eat, And I ordered this big old pizza, and it's so thick and meaty, and I had spinach and tomato and sausage and like mushroom, like all this stuff in it. And I two pieces, and I went to pick it up, weighs about 8 pounds. The leftovers weighed about 8 pounds. So I take it back to the hotel room, and I'm thinking, how am I going to get this home to my wife? Because I want to savor it, because I didn't want to eat it cold in the hotel or whatever. I strombolied it. I cordoned it. I stacked it. I then took the box and folded it over it, Brooklyn style, shoved it into the refrigerator, and then I muled it to the stadium. I stuffed it away in the back of the soda cooler in the press box, and I've got 5 slices left. My wife's already gotten into the first one. So that's how Chicago went for me this weekend, eating
you know what?
and learning how to pack things the right way and get them home.
If you can't go to Chicago, bring Chicago to you. A great story.
Well, on the plane ride out, all Ravens fans. On the plane ride back, all Ravens fans. Popcorn, nice. Beer, sausage, victory, children, people of all denominations. It was in a victory flight too, and our flight attendants were also Baltimore Ravens fans. So yeah, I looked at the Chicago thing as a win. I was there during a tornado and an awful 2005. It was 38 degrees and raining sideways. I remember walking to that subway, just getting pelted by rain, freezing, soaked, thawing out at the airport. This was like a beautiful day in Chicago, and everybody was complaining about how boring the first half was, and then you win and it wasn't boring anymore, right?
No, look, a win is a win is a win, and 7-3, Nestor. Any way that they can get it done, they figure it out, though. You have to love how resilient this team is. You really do.
Resiliency, that's what they do. Tell me about selling some cars. And what are we doing here? We get Black Friday savings. What do we got?
Oh, yeah. We'll be here at 6 a.m. Friday morning until midnight. Same thing Saturday. Same thing Monday and Tuesdays. We close out our month. So it's a whole weekend of holiday savings. We have truckloads of vehicles coming in. We have more vehicles in stock than the majority of our competitors. So this is just a great time to come out and see us and get a top dollar for your trade-in and get a great deal here at Coons Ford.
So big trade-in. You have some stock, but give me financing and what, haven't bought a car in a while. What if you're coming in at this point, what can you expect?
Money's cheap these days. There's some offers 0% for 60 months and 5 or 6 year loan. You're still getting 1 or 2% money. So it's a great time to save a ton of money with buying a vehicle these days. Really
0 on 60, right? Is that for certain vehicles?
Certain vehicles, yes.
Okay.
F-150s and whatnot, but everything we have is nice. Ford just makes a fantastic product, whether it's an F-150, the 250, the Escape, the Bronco, the small Bronco, the Bronco Sport. We have a new Maverick in stock. So we have a lot of great offerings.
I was transported around Chicago by Stan Jablonski and his Ford Escape. So,
Very nice.
yeah, my Dundalk friends picking me up door to door and me, making sure that I didn't have to carry my suitcase and hurt my back. So I was very appreciative. So big weekend in Chicago, big weekend ahead. Big Thanksgiving weekend. Dan, I'm thankful for you, man. I appreciate all you do around here. Let's have a great weekend here. Let's go win another football game. Man, we can't be losing to the Cleveland Browns. Like, that's some indignity we can't suffer around here.
Not a shot. Stop the run and stop. That's how you beat the Browns.
We'll be having wise conversations all week long with our friends from Cleveland. I'm going to be chasing down Daryl Ryder and Bernie Buchanan and all my Browns faithful, and probably getting ready to go out there in a couple of weeks and find the Christmas Story house and do all that. But Thanksgiving, thankful, pumpkin pie, eggnog in season. I'm even going to listen to some Mariah Carey on Friday on the way up to Abingdon and start to celebrate the season. I have not heard one Christmas song yet. And I'm in the mood, so it's all true. I'm Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570. Towson, Baltimore, we never stop talking. Baltimore positive.